Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Tony. So today I'm going to be reviewing Neil Pasricha's excellent book, The Happiness Equation, and I'm going to give you some tips so that you can lead a happier, healthier life. Number 1, here are 6 words that will change your life. The words are great work, big success, be happy. So great work, big success, be happy. Most people think that if they do great work, then they'll be a big success in the eyes of themselves and others, and then they'll be happy. Neil says you should change this paradigm around to first being happy, focus on being happy, and then you'll do great work, and then you'll be the big success that you want to be. I think actually, if you're happy, then you already are a success and you're going to do great work. But either way, when you stop focusing on trying to be a success for others and you focus on either doing great work for the sake of doing great work or being happy for the sake of being happy, that's going to translate and funnel into the other areas of your life, and your work will improve, the way you see yourself will improve, your energy levels will improve. So focus on being happy first. When you focus on great work for the sake of becoming a big success, I don't necessarily think that there's anything wrong with that. However, the trap that Neil says most people fall into is that once they achieve their goals, like let's say somebody says, I'm going to make it $100,000 a year and then I'll be a big success, then I'll be happy. When they get to the $100,000 mark, they realize that there's the $1 million mark. And if they achieve that, then they might be a bigger success and they therefore might have more happiness. And so they're going about this in the wrong way. So he says, focus on being happy first. And he lays out some steps to being happy, which I'll get to in a moment. And then you'll do great work and then you'll be a big success. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, go back and rewatch it and try to figure it out. Number 2, here is the single biggest reason that people are unhappy. And the reason that people are unhappy is they think that it's not okay for them to have negative thoughts. Thinking negative thoughts is totally normal. Your brain has been designed to help you survive. Your brain's not here to make you happy. It's here to keep you alive. For the last, I don't know how many millions of years since the human species has existed, its brain has had one, our brains have had one function, and that function is to keep us alive. It's a problem-solving organism. It looks for problems and solves them. If there is no problems, it'll start to create them, so it has something to do. So when you realize that in the last 100 years, or maybe 1,000 or 2,000, that the focus has not been so much on surviving, but more on happiness, you start to realize that this is a new paradigm for your brain. So if you think that it's something is wrong by you having negative thoughts, that's not true. Now here's 2 ways that you can train your mind to get it to do what you want it to do. The first is, when your mind starts going crazy, tell it to stop. Give it a firm stop. Tell it, stop thinking these thoughts. Most people's brains are untrained. They're like wild horses. They're just running around. So you need to get this marvelous instrument focused and disciplined so that it works on your behalf. So if your mind starts going off into random avenues that don't serve, tell it, stop. I don't want you to think these thoughts anymore. And then tell it, from now on, I want you to think. And then tell it what type of thoughts you want it to think. Another exercise that you can do is you can use the law of substitution. If you want to really be happy, use this law. It will change your whole life, and you will be living in such a blissed out state that people will be asking you, what's your secret? And it works like this. Excuse me. From when you first wake up in the morning until you go to sleep, every negative thought that comes into your mind, whether your mind thinks or wherever thoughts come from, as soon as the thought emerges that is negative, you replace it with its positive opposite. Refuse to entertain a negative thought. And as you do this, you'll start to clean out those old negative thought patterns, and you'll start to form new and constructive thought patterns, beliefs, and concepts about yourself and others. This is probably the most powerful exercise I could give you. It's called the law of substitution. So as soon as you wake up, start to think positively. Focus on the good. Every negative thought that comes up, you immediately replace it with its positive opposite, and this will transform your life. And you'll see such a shift in your attitude and in the way you behave that you'll be astounded by the change that'll result in you. So use it. It's the law of substitution. Here's a bonus way that you can also control your mind. If your mind starts running off and doing crazy things, give your mind an exercise. Tell it, I want you to go think of the most positive experience I've ever had. Or I want you to go look for something good for me to do. And essentially program your mind to go, or give it some task to go off and do to keep it occupied and have you feeling good. Another major point that Neil makes is that life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. Things are going to be happening to us. Life is always going on. So there's going to be things that happen to you, but it's your responses to what happens to you that dictates the quality of your life. It reminds me of this equation that Jack Canfield, the author of the Chicken Soul for the Soups books has. And the equation is this. It's E plus R equals O. So events plus your responses equals your outcomes, which determine your life. So there's always going to be events that are happening to you. But the most important thing is how are you going to respond? How are you going to show up? How are you going to act when events take place? Because your responses are going to determine your outcome and the quality of your life. So keep this in mind. Your circumstances do not dictate your happiness. It's your responses to what's taking place in your life that's going to dictate your happiness. Now, Neil lists 7 ways that you can be happier, and I'm going to list a few of them right now in the hopes that they can increase your happiness. One way that Neil says you can be happier is through the 20-minute replay. And that's where, for 20 minutes every night, you grab a pen and paper and you write out one major victory that you've had and you list how you made it happen. And what takes place is, as you're writing this out, you're actually reliving that experience and you'll start to feel good about yourself and it'll increase your self-esteem. I don't necessarily do it for 20 minutes. I might just do it for a few minutes. I list one major success that I had and how I made it happen. But it starts to activate that sense of self-esteem within me, and I feel really good by doing this exercise. Another way you can increase your happiness is through random acts of kindness. At least 3 times a week, do something nice for somebody else. Not because you have to, but just because you want to. You'll feel better about yourself. They'll feel better about themselves. And overall, you're just making the world a better place. So try some random acts of kindness, at least 3 a week. It doesn't have to be anything major. You can just send a text to somebody telling them you love them or that you care about them. Whatever it is, you do what's best for you, but you'll really feel better about yourself and it'll help people. They'll really appreciate it. And lastly, he says to do 3 walks a week, but at least get yourself moving 3 times a week and do some type of exercise. The more active you are, the more pleasant feelings and thoughts you're going to have, and the better you're going to feel about yourself. So at least exercise 3 times a week. Here's 4 simple words that block all criticism. And the words are, do it for you. Anything that you're doing, do it for you. If you're doing it for yourself, you're not going to care what other people think, or you're not going to give their criticisms or their opinions so much value. Do it for you. If you want to do something, go and do it. Do it for the simple sake that you want to do it. The fact that you want to do it, in my opinion, means that you probably can do it. So go out there, make your desires and your dreams and your hopes and your wishes come true. Do it for you. Forget whatever else anyone might think. Do it for you because it's going to make you happy. In regards to work, Neil has what he calls the 4 S's. And the first of which is structure. When people are working, they have a structure, a channel for their energy, and this allows them to be more productive. The second S is society. When people are working, they have other people they're interacting with. Unless they're working by themselves, most people are going to have customers, they're going to have other people that they're interacting with. And as a result, they won't be home alone and they'll be communicating with other people, and it'll give them a greater self-esteem. And it'll bring me to what is the third S, which is stimulation. Instead of getting lazy, they're receiving feedback about their job, their brains and bodies are working, and it's keeping them healthier and alive. And the 4th S is story. When people work, a lot of people, they feel like they have a reason to live. They have a reason to get up in the morning. So there are some benefits to work. There's structure, there's society, there's stimulation, and there's story. So you can use those 4 S's to really charge your life and really feel grateful about your work if you've been looking at your work in a negative fashion. If you're somebody who has a hard time making decisions, Neil says that the fastest way to make decisions is to narrow the number of choices that you have. So let's say you're somebody who feels stuck in a certain area. All you need to do is start narrowing down the number of choices you have until you arrive at only one choice and then act on that choice. Something that you can also do is you can tell yourself by 2 o'clock tomorrow or whatever time frame you give for yourself, I will make a final decision about and whatever the problem is. And so by that time, it will force you to make a decision. And in between that time, you can keep narrowing down the choices until you get to one that you feel like acting on. And if your decision is the wrong one, don't worry about it. You can amend your decision or you can make a change, but it's better to get into action and get moving and correct the decision, in my opinion, than it is to sit around and worry and waste your energy and not do anything. So get yourself moving, narrow down your choices until you find something you want to do, and then go out and do it. Neil talks about the 5 greatest regrets of the dying and how to avoid them. I'm going to read you the regrets right now, and I'm going to give you ways to avoid them so you can live a happier, healthier life. The first regret is, I'll just read it as it is. People say that they wish they'd had the courage to live a life true to themselves, not the life others expected of them. If you're living the life that other people expect of you, I want you to get a pen and paper out and list 101 goals that you want to accomplish before you die, and then take those major goals and chunk them down into smaller goals and get to work. This will free your inner creativity, you'll feel like you're progressing in your life, and it'll improve your overall sense of self-esteem and well-being. Get to work. 101 goals that you want to accomplish before you die. The second major regret of people who are dying is that they wish they hadn't worked so hard. If you're overworked and overtasked, seek to delegate some of your activities to other people so that it frees up your time. We all only have 24 hours every day, and we're all only going to be here for a certain amount of time. So don't spend every waking hour working unless you really love what you're doing, because you might miss out on some other activities that'll bring you a lot of joy. So delegate those non-essential tasks that don't need your direct supervision to others and free up your time. The third major regret of people who are dying is that they wish they had the courage to express their true feelings. Express your feelings. Say what you want to say. Be honest with yourself first about how you feel about things, and it'll allow you to be honest with others. If you're somebody who's non-assertive and has a hard time expressing their feelings to others, go and read books on assertiveness training. A great book it's called When I Say No, I Feel Guilty. It's called When I Say No, I Feel Guilty, and it's an excellent book on assertiveness training and expressing your true feelings. When you're true to yourself, you're going to feel so much better, and your self-respect, your self-admiration, and your self-approval is going to go up. And also people are going to see you better and allow you to express your true feelings more. So it starts this beautiful cycle of positivity in your favor. The fourth major regret of people who are dying is that they wish they had stayed in touch with their friends. An easy way to stay in touch with your friends is to schedule things for you guys to do. For me, I believe that if something's not scheduled, it's not going to happen. So I schedule things in advance to do with my friends so that I know I'm seeing them regularly, and we have good activities that are going to uplift us and make us feel better. One thing that I do is I kickbox with a group of friends every day, and we all get in better shape and we all feel better about ourselves, and it improves the quality of our relationship. So schedule regular things to do with your friends, no matter how busy you are. It can be something small. It doesn't necessarily have to take a huge amount of time, but it'll improve the quality of your friendships. You could also find activities and hobbies that you both or a bunch of you enjoy doing, and do those together, and you'll all feel much better about hanging out with each other. And the last major regret that people who are dying have is that they wish they had let themselves be happier. Allow yourself to be happy. Let go of the negative thoughts. Use the law of substitution, where you replace every negative thought with a positive one. If you have grievances and gripes towards others, forgive them. Tell yourself, I forgive those people. The past is the past. Allow yourself to be as happy as possible. We're all only here for a short time, so enjoy your time while you're here. Make the most of it now. So that's it. That's my review of the happiness equation. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot more to this book. I only touched on those points that really interest me. You might find something completely different from it, but check it out. I highly recommend it. It's an easy read. Neil's a hilarious guy, and you'll get a bunch from it. If there's anything that you want me to talk about, any book you want me to review, or any seminar or anything like that, hit me up in the comments down below. I'm happy to check it out.